He was given a barbarian as a wife, but she refused to be his wife until he defeats her in battle. The hall was loud with laughter and clinking mugs, the smell of roasted meat heavy in the air. But Marcus Hale, veteran soldier of Earth's scattered colonies, felt none of the warmth. He sat stiffly on the long bench, staring at the woman across from him. Calling her a woman was almost misleading. She was a giantess compared to him. 7 feet of corded muscle, scars latticed across her bronze skin, dark hair tied back in a warrior's braid. The chieftain's daughter of the Carrick tribes, feared in 6 systems, and now, apparently, his wife. The tribal chieftain had declared it as part of a peace pact between their peoples. The Carrick and the humans had been at each other's throats for years, raiding and counter-raiding. But Marcus's unit had fought beside them against a mutual alien threat, earning him a kind of respect. The chieftain had clasped his arm, roared his approval, and handed him his daughter as if she were a weapon. The problem was, she wanted nothing to do with him. "I will not be your wife, human," she growled now, her voice carrying easily over the din of the feast. "Not unless you prove yourself. Not unless you defeat me in battle." The hall went silent at her words. Dozens of Carrick warriors leaned forward, eyes gleaming. Marcus pinched the bridge of his nose. "I didn't ask for this," he muttered. "You think I did?" She leaned across the table, eyes flashing like wildfire. "You are soft, small. I would break you with one hand. If you want me, you must earn me." Murmurs of agreement rolled through the warriors around them. For the Carrick, strength was law, and marriage was a duel as much as a bond. Marcus sighed. "And if I don't fight?" Her smile was sharp as a blade. "Then you remain nothing. A man with no wife, no honor." He should have walked away. He should have refused. But the stares of the warriors burned into him, and a part of him, the same reckless, stubborn part that had carried him through too many battles, rose to the challenge. "Fine," he said, standing. "Let's fight." The hall erupted in cheers. They met in the tribal arena at dawn. The ground was hard-packed dirt, ringed by wooden posts carved with old scars of weapons. Warriors gathered in a wide circle, stomping and chanting. Marcus stepped into the ring with nothing but his fists. The Carrick laughed at that, but he had learned long ago that weapons could betray you. His own body, though battered and scarred, had never failed him. His would-be wife strode into the ring opposite him, carrying a great axe. The weapon looked like it weighed more than Marcus himself. She spun at once, the air whistling as the blade cut through. "Last chance to yield, human," she called. Marcus cracked his knuckles. "Ladies first." She roared and charged. The axe came down like thunder, but Marcus was already moving. He dove aside, rolled, and came up on his feet as the blade slammed into the dirt where he had been. Dust exploded upward, the crowd roaring approval. She swung again, faster than he expected, but Marcus ducked under and jabbed a fist into her ribs. It was like punching stone. Pain shot up his arm. Her grin widened. "Is that all?" Marcus danced back, keeping his distance. She was stronger, no question, but strength wasn't everything. He'd survived wars by being clever, by outlasting opponents who thought brute force was enough. She charged again, her strikes wild but devastating. Marcus slipped past them, landing small hits where he could. Jaw, stomach, thigh. Each one was like striking a tree trunk, but he saw her frustration growing. "Stand and fight," she snarled. "I am fighting," Marcus panted. "I'm just not stupid." The crowd howled with laughter. Her eyes blazed. She threw the axe aside, the ground shaking as it struck. "Fine," she spat. "No weapons. Just flesh." Marcus's lips twitched into a grin. "Now we're talking." They collided like storms. Her fists were boulders, each blow rattling his bones, but Marcus blocked, slipped, and countered. He was smaller, yes, but also faster. Where she swung with raw power, he moved with precision. She caught him once, a hammer of a punch to the chest that sent him sprawling into the dirt. The crowd roared approval. Blood filled his mouth. He spat red, pushed himself up, and grinned through the pain. That all you got? Something flickered in her eyes. Respect. He surged forward, feinting left and driving his shoulder into her gut. She staggered back, and he followed with a flurry of punches, each one hammering the same spot until she grunted. She swung wide. He ducked, grabbed her arm, twisted, and suddenly her momentum carried her crashing into the dirt. The arena thundered with cheers. Marcus stood over her, chest heaving. "Yield!" She snarled, pushing herself up. "Never." And so they fought on. Minutes bled into hours, until both of them were bruised and bloodied, sweat streaming, bodies aching. Neither yielded. Finally, with one last surge, Marcus swept her legs from under her and pinned her to the ground, his knee against her chest. His fist trembled, ready to strike, but he didn't. Instead, he leaned down, voice raw. "I don't want a wife who hates me. I don't want to own you. But I'll fight you as many times as it takes to prove I respect you." For the first time, her eyes widened not with rage, but with shock. The arena went silent, and then, slowly, she began to laugh. "You," she wheezed, still pinned. "You are insane." Marcus smirked. "You're not the first to say that." Her laughter grew, rolling through the arena until the warriors joined in. Finally, she slapped her hand against his arm. "Enough. You win." Marcus blinked. "I do." "You fought me with no fear. You did not quit, even when I broke you." Her grin was fierce, her teeth bared. "You have proven yourself. You are worthy." The crowd erupted into cheers, stomping and shouting his name. Marcus released her and stood, helping her to her feet. She towered over him still, blood on her lip, but her eyes burned with something new. Not hatred, not defiance. Respect. She clasped his hand, squeezing hard enough to grind his bones. "From this day, I will be your wife. Not because my father gave me, but because you earned me." The warriors roared approval. Marcus smiled faintly, though every bone in his body ached. "Glad we cleared that up." She laughed again, loud and wild, and pulled him into a crushing embrace that nearly broke his ribs. "Come, husband," she said, "let us drink. Tomorrow we fight again, this time together." In the weeks that followed, Marcus learned what it meant to be married to a barbarian. She was fierce, demanding impossible control, but she also fought at his side with loyalty that no vow could have forged. And every time she looked at him, her grin fierce and proud, Marcus knew the truth. He hadn't been given a wife. He had earned a partner.